Hi everyone, this is Ross with DIY on the House, and today we're going to flush a tankless water heater. It's a very simple process. So on the water heater itself, we have the outgoing valve for the hot, we have the incoming valve for the cold, and then we have the flush valves. And we'll be using these and we'll be turning these off. So it's like I said, it's a very simple process. We have our solution already mixed up, and what I'm using is the Calci-Free by Seal. It's a great solution. I've used it before and it does a great job. It's only about a 20-minute flush. You can use vinegar or any other solution that is suitable for flushing. So we'll go ahead and get things set up and then we'll start our flush. So we have our pump. We have our pump, and that I got this off Amazon. This is Calero. I've been using this for quite a while. The pump is great. Everything has a nice quality to it. So to begin, we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up our port for our cold and connect the blue stainless steel line onto that. I'm going to make sure that's nice and snug. And we're going to open our hot port. Snug that down as well. Okay, and now the next thing we do is just go ahead and turn off the water heater itself. If it has a circulating system on it, we don't need that to be kicked on at the same time. So we got this done and we got this. Now on the water heaters, there's also a little filter right here on the incoming line. What I typically do is I don't clean this until after the flush is done. The reason is everything that breaks loose, the pump may go ahead and get a hold of that and send it back through. So we'll do a final cleaning of the filter in here. Once that's done and clean, then we'll reassemble that and we'll turn the system back on and flush the actual heater out before we turn it back on for the house. Okay, like I said, we get our solution is already mixed up, and we'll take our cold line and connect that to the outgoing port on the pump. We want to make sure that is snug as well. Okay, and we'll go ahead and submerge that into the tank. Now what I like to do is, because of any breakup that might happen in the water heater, I want to keep this pump supported off the bottom. Go ahead and let any heavy particles go to the bottom of the bucket without it actually getting pulled back into the pump and going right back through the system, clogging that incoming filter. Then we'll take our discharge hose and get that into the tank as well. Okay, at this point there is the cold incoming valve. I'm just going to rotate that and turn that off completely and go over to the hot as well and do the same thing. Sometimes these get a little stiff. Oh, there we go. There we go. That is off as well. Now we can go ahead and open our cold port and our hot. And this is just for flushing. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and start the flush. So right there, I've got the pump plugged in, and we're going to go and it's beginning to flush the system. And we're going to go ahead and let that go for 20 minutes, as on the per the instructions on the bottle for the Calci-Free. Vinegar will take a lot longer depending on the consistency that you use. So we'll get back with you when we're done. Okay, we've got our flushing complete. We've been over about 22 minutes on the flush. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug the unit, and there is definitely quite a bit of debris at the bottom. And they do have a softer system, a quality one as well, and it's doing its job, but you know, it's just the nature of the beast with the tankless water heaters. So go ahead, unplug that, get that done, let it kind of drain back a little bit. All right, now we'll come up here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off the incoming flush valve. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the hot one open, and I'll just go ahead and get our hose disconnected off this side. Put our cap back on and let us know we're done. Okay, and we're going to tighten that up. Okay, at this point in the process, I'm going to go ahead and remove the filter and be very gentle with this There it goes. It does have O-rings on it, so it's sealed and it'll do just fine. And once you hear a little bit of water, what that's going to do is suck air and it's going to discharge it out the hot drain line back into the bucket. There it goes. And we'll just kind of let that do its thing. Okay. Okay, so you can see that there's a little bit of debris on this. We're going to go ahead and clean this off under fresh cold water. Okay, the filter now is clean and we're going to go ahead and stick that back in there and tightening down. So this, once it stops, it stops. Don't do any more. There we go. Because you will break that, and if you break that, then you are out of hot water until you can actually get a replacement for that. All right, at this point we have our hot discharge valve for the flush. I'm going to go ahead and close that. And you'll want to hook up a garden hose to this and get this extended outside to the rock. Don't put this on any concrete or asphalt. It will clean it very well, and you'll end up having a super clean spot and everything else will be dirty. Fortunately, I have a sink available right here. I'm going to go ahead and use that. And now I'm going to come back over, turn on the hot discharge on the loop. I've got my cold loop flush off, and I'm going to go ahead and open up my cold, and I'm going to start a flush on the system, and I'm going to let that flush for about 4 or 5 minutes. Sometimes these can be a real stinker. Okay, we're not going to open that all the way. I'm just going to go real gentle. If you open it all the way, in my case, I'm going to push way too much water out. And you can actually see, I don't know if you can see, but there's some more debris actually coming out of it. So we'll go ahead and just let that flush for about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so we'll come back over to the bucket here and disconnect our cold. I'm going to go ahead and take my cold line and get that into the sink as well, or get it outside so you can clean all this properly. So I'm going to come back over to the bucket and remove our pump. Let that drain out down there. And I'm going to put that into the sink or outside and clean this properly as well. Like I said, don't let this get on concrete and stuff. It'll end up leaving clean marks. Okay, there's all the debris that I removed, and this is with the softener. So there, even with the softener, you still get buildup. And again, I'm using the Calci-Free by Rector Seal. I get that off of Amazon. That link will be down below, and also the link for the flush system. That includes the pump. That includes the 2 hoses as well. It's a nice bucket. Everything fits in here. I typically go ahead, when I'm done, I let this all dry out before I put everything back in and button it back up, because I don't want to have any trapped moisture in the bucket, because I want everything, next time I do it, I want everything clean, and I also want it dry to have a new beginning. So we're still doing our flush, and once that's done, we'll button everything back up and kick her back on. All right, so we're done with the flush. I'm done with the flushing of the system, and we're just going to turn the discharge hose off. I've got all my equipment cleaned and my other hose cleaned. I'm going to make sure you definitely clean everything and make sure it is free of any chemical. It is suggested you would use gloves doing this. Okay, there we go. We got that. We're going to move back over to our cold and just go ahead and bring that on the rest of the way. And now I'm going to go to my hot faucet. And just by chance, there's happened to be a sink here, which is awesome. And turn that on, and I'm just going to go ahead and rotate that hot valve to the on position. There we go. And we're going to go, and right now I'm just going to go ahead. If there's any air in the system, I'm going to let that discharge out. Okay, everything seems to be good. I'm just going to turn the system back on, is set at 120 degrees. This one is for the people, or for the customer. And we're back and going. Right here, we should be getting some hot water here real shortly. There we go. Nice.